Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to yet another episode of the Golden Hour. However, you may be tuning in, I appreciate you taking time out of your day to check us out. Today, we're going to go on ahead and talk about a few things. We're going to go on ahead and talk about passion, dedication, hard work, and determination. Now, recently, I have been addicted, and when I say addicted, I mean addicted to a show that I discovered for the first time. I had no idea it existed all of 2 days ago. And this show is called Kitchen Nightmares. I'm sure most of you are familiar with it. It's a show that no longer runs that, but it ran from 2007 all the way to 2014. I tweeted out that this show has been just amazing, that I've been addicted to it. I've been binge watching it, and I've gotten a lot of responses like, oh my god, that show is amazing, it's incredible. I've watched it all on Hulu, on Netflix, or wherever it is. People were able to watch it and tune into it. Now, I watch a lot of different things on YouTube, right? There's a lot of things that catches my attention that I watch. I don't really watch YouTubers a lot. Like, a lot of people ask me, do I watch, like, for instance, like people in the Madden community? Do I watch IMAP, or do I watch Cookie Boy, or do I watch videos? And the answer is not really. And it's nothing to do with them. They're amazing content creators. It's the fact that I just don't really watch YouTubers like that. When I'm on YouTube, if I'm watching anything, it's usually like rap battles or other type of shows and whatnot. Now, I watch a YouTuber every now and then if it comes up across my timeline on Twitter and it looks interesting and whatnot. I just prefer Twitch. If I'm going to watch somebody play a game, I prefer it live. I prefer it to be on Twitch. Now, I've asked people before, what do they prefer, YouTube or Twitch? And most people prefer YouTube. And I understand it. It's more time consuming, right? A lot of people are more likely to sit down and watch a 15-minute video of whatever game they enjoy watching or whatever personality they enjoy watching with the game they enjoy over a full 3 to 5 hour live stream. So I get that. But me, personally, I'd rather watch it live instead of watching a condensed version of it. But I understand why YouTube is, more popular for people to wanting to watch, whatever game it is they want to watch or whatever. But I'm sitting here and I'm just watching, there's a lot of rap battles going on, so I'm watching a lot of promos and a lot of interviews and whatnot. And I wasn't paying attention. The video went ahead and ended, and I have autoplay on, so once the video ends, it automatically goes to whatever is recommended next. And they usually keep a good selection of what you're used to watching coming up next. So automatically, for the most part, there's a lot of like just rap battle stuff that comes up, because that's what I usually watch on YouTube a lot. Or I'm on YouTube TV watching The Herd, or The Herd, Skip and Shannon Undisputed, and the show with Nick Wright and Chris Carter. I got those shows DVR'd on YouTube TV, and I watch those pretty much at night when I have time before I go to bed. Check them out, see what's going on in the sports world and whatnot. But out of nowhere, randomly, a compilation, about a 7-minute compilation of Gordon Ramsay's like angriest kitchen moments come up, right? And I've never seen any of his shows. Now, I've known him to have a show where I think he like trains chefs and whatnot, but I've never seen it before. Not something I thought I'd be interested in. So it just randomly pops up, excuse me, and I watch it, right? And it's extremely interesting, right? This little snippet of just a small sample of what the episodes were like really got me curious on how a full episode would be. And in this little compilation, he's going to people's freezers, finding bad shrimp, bad chicken, food that has been spoiled, that has been outdated, that has just been completely old and wrecked, and it's being fed to people, and he's just going off. I ate that. you fed this to me, and he's just cursing people out, and I'm like, wow, this is crazy. So I've been watching 4 episodes of Kitchen Nightmares for the first time, and I'm addicted to it. I'm watching it a lot. I cannot stop watching it. And yesterday, I came across the episode, and the name of it, I think it was Mashans. I believe the name of the episode was. And this episode was it's a little different because most of the owners that he goes into. So let me give you the idea of how it works. So Gordon Ramsay, again, if you don't know, he's like some world famous chef, right? And he goes into businesses that has been failing, that hasn't been doing good, that's taken a turn for the worse. And his job is to go in, find out why they are failing, and try and make a quick turnaround, help them out, get them on the right track, and help them be successful. For the most part, most of the time, the food is like really bad. So of course, him being an expert, he can figure out what they're doing wrong, how to fix it, get them the right ingredients, fix their menus around, and if their location, well, not location because you can't change that, but if like the scenery is bad, the decoration, the decor, he'll go on ahead and change things around and whatnot. And for the most part, a lot of the owners are like husband and wife, or like family and stuff like that. This was the first episode to where parents bought a restaurant and named it after their daughter, and pretty much wanted to hand it down to their daughter. Their daughter, her name was, I think it was Natalie, and her middle name was Mashawn, right? So the restaurant name was Mashawn's. So I'm watching it, and the father is giving the story of how the restaurant, because he's the owner, of how the restaurant is failing, and it has a lot to do with him being sick. Now, before he was sick, he was able to be there all the time, watch everything, be there physically, keep an eye on everything, help everybody get through their jobs, and everybody was on track. Everything was good. But then he came down with a sickness, so he had to stay home a lot. And when that happened, his daughter, who the restaurant name is after, who the restaurant was pretty much bought for, was supposed to be handed down to her in order for her to take over and have this beautiful place. It was a smokehouse, and it was going downhill, right? She was very lazy, not really doing pretty much anything. She'd go back there in the kitchen and would just start like picking on the food, like eating it, and just nowhere being there. And Ramsay would go there and he would ask all of the employees, how is she as a worker? Oh, she's horrible. She's barely here. When she is, she doesn't do anything to help us. We don't have any type of leadership back here in the kitchen. Nobody knows what they're doing. And Gordon Ramsay says something that really caught my attention, that really made me want to talk about this today. So in the midst of him, trying to figure out what the restaurant problem is, he goes back there and he finds out that they have 2 of the most expensive, up-to-date smokers that he's ever seen. 2 smokers that cost $17,000 a piece. And he goes and it turns out that they pre-make the food and sell it days later. So how it usually works is the first thing he does is he'll taste the food. He'll just go to the menu, go into the restaurant, order a whole bunch of things just to test some things out, see how the food is that they're making, and he'll give his opinion on it. And most of the food was dry, bad. He had like a salad where the tomatoes like really they were rotten, and the chicken wings they gave him were really, really dry, and he knew immediately. Like he's an expert. So as soon as he took a bite of the chicken wing, he knew it was dry. Then he knew that it wasn't smoked that day. Like he just knew it wasn't fresh. He can tell. And so it turns out that they pretty much make the food on like a Saturday. They'll save it, fridge it, and they'll microwave it on like a Monday, Tuesday, days later. So he's flipping out. You have a smoker. You have some of the most up-to-date electronics and equipment. You have a beautiful restaurant, and you're serving food days later. And this is what he said that really, really, really made me want to talk about this today. He said he was talking about how the brisket was rubbery. It was pretty much like beef jerky. It was old, you can tell. And he had said, if my parents had a restaurant with my name on it, I would be sleeping in here, and I would make sure that each and every piece of food that came out of here was fresh and amazing. How are you going to have a restaurant with your name on it and you take no responsibility, you put in no effort, you put in no work, and you do absolutely nothing to see this place succeed? And that right there is powerful. It's a powerful message right there. The fact that she took no responsibility, she did nothing to go on ahead and really have that restaurant be successful. She was just pretty much being reliant on her parents to just, take over things, and she would just stroll by, not do much, and just continue to get a paycheck and still have a restaurant her name in. Not know why less and less people were coming in, not know why more food was brought to the back, and not know, anything. Like she couldn't answer questions on who the head chef was because they didn't have one. They pretty much had a assembly line back there where all the sides, all the food would just put on a plate, microwave, and pushed out. And when Gordon Ramsay had asked, was there anything that I ate today that was not microwaved, one person raised his hand and he said the salad. And Gordon Ramsay flips out, the salad? Are you kidding me? The only thing that I ate that wasn't microwaved was the salad? So that just, brought me back. And I tell this story a lot, but about how I started YouTube, and it makes me think of just about a lot of ways people don't put in the time, the effort necessary to be successful at whatever it is they want to do. And it's sad. It's heartbreaking because a lot of people want to do stuff in life, right? A lot of people want to go on ahead and be, let's just say, for instance, YouTubers, right? It's a career that a lot of people look at that they think they would love, right? Oh, I love playing video games, man. If I could stay home and play video games, it would be a dream come true. The same way I had that same vision, I had those same aspirations. Once I found out that it was a reality, once I found out that, wait a minute, people get paid for this, and not only get paid, if you do pretty well at it, you can live off of it. Like, you can do really, really, really good playing games, just being yourself, being, goofy, whatever type of content you make, and you can make a living off of that. When I found that out, the amount of dedication and hard work that I put in to be to where I got to today. Now, there's a lot of people that are much bigger than me in YouTube and Twitch. Much, much bigger than me. But there's thousands and thousands and thousands of people that are nowhere near me where I'm at, that's under me, that are trying to get to where I am. So I'm very thankful for where I'm at. I don't sit there and look at somebody above me and have jealousy, right? I don't sit there and look at IMAV, who started a little before me, but I got more popular than him when I started, right? And we had a collaboration early, and he took off. And the reason why I collaborated with him, because back then there was no Madden YouTubers collaborating with each other, and if you did, it was kind of like, the big fish didn't really help out the small fish, because the big fish didn't have too much to gain from it, right? Somebody back then with 3,000 subs, if I were to help you and you have, 200 subs, doesn't really help me out. It helps you out, because you have 3,000 eyeballs on your channel, but it doesn't really help me out. So what am I going to get? But I seen his video. He sent me a message on YouTube and wanting to collaborate. I seen his video and I said, wow, this guy is going to be a star. He is absolutely terrific. Now, me helping him now does absolutely nothing. But I knew if I did not help him, at some point he's going to get to where he wants to get to. He's way too good for him not to. The only thing that could not have this kid be successful on YouTube is if he just gave up for no reason. But if he continued putting out the work that I seen in that video, oh, he's going to be a star. And I knew it. So it's like, okay, well, it's smart for me to work with him now, because in the future, if he becomes successful, which I not if, when he becomes successful, if let's say I want to work with him and do something together, he might be spiteful and he might have the right to. He might go on ahead and say, no, I remember you. I remember I sent you a message and you ignored it. You never got back to me and nobody wanted to help me. So no, I'm going to go on ahead and just not work with you. Now, I don't think IMAV is that kind of guy. Right? I know he's not that kind of guy. I know he's not spiteful like that. But, you know, I didn't know that then. I didn't know him then. So we decided to work together. He is, he'll be hitting 1 million subscribers soon. I don't sit there and look at him and have, you know, jealous thoughts or, man, I wish that was me, or, damn, man, why can't I have some type of... I'm very happy for him. There is absolutely nothing I would not do for that guy. I look at Cookie Boy, who has roles beyond myself. And there's people that are going to pass me in the Madden community, J-Mail. We have a lot of amazing content creators. And I'm happy for each and every single person, because they went ahead and put in the work. They went ahead and put in the dedication. They went ahead and put in the consistency for them to go on ahead and be successful at what they're doing. And I'm proud of each and every single one of them. And I'm happy for any person that makes it in the Madden community, because there's more than enough eyeballs in this world for plenty more people to be successful. I'm just happy I'm one of them, right? And the amount of time that it took, back then, I was working a full-time job. I didn't even have a car. I didn't have no way to get to work. I was taking a bus to work back then. And my schedule would fluctuate. I would work mornings. I would work nights. There was plenty of times where I would leave at night and have to be back in the morning. For example, I would work 4 to 11, have to leave, get home about 11:30, because, you know, at that time no buses were running, but, you know, they knew to put me with a manager that would give me a ride home. And truck would come in at 5, so I'd have to be back in at about, I'd have to wake up at about 4 to be ready to be back at 5. But in between those times, when I get home at 11:30 and I had to leave the house at about 4:30, I wouldn't sleep. I would play a game of Madden, and I would edit that game of Madden. And I would wait till I got home and I would upload that game of Madden. And back then I had a Dazzle, and I had a computer that had all of 7 gigabytes of capacity. I could not run no huddle, because if I did, the file would expand the amount of space that my computer had, and I would lose a whole game of footage because the file was too long. So I had to go on ahead and make sure that I never ran no huddle. I had to make a game as quick as possible so I can have a game of footage to upload. Now, back then, I looked and I said, what is nobody doing? How can I be successful at this? How can I attack this? Because there's people that are already there. There was Duke the Killer, who's the biggest Madden YouTuber at the time. There was Madden Moment 7. There was Mr. Champ Bailey. There was a handful of people that had thousands upon thousands of subscribers. There was Koopa, 318 Super. And I looked and was like, okay, well, nobody is uploading videos every single day. So this was the mentality I had. I looked and I said, okay, if I can upload a game of Madden every single day, to which literally nobody is doing, then perhaps until their favorite Madden commentator uploads, until Duke the Killer uploads on Tuesdays and Saturdays, maybe they'll check my videos out. Like, hey, it's not Duke, but Duke's not going to upload for another 2 days, so I guess I'll go on ahead and check out this channel. So every single day, I went ahead and uploaded a video. And one video, a 10-minute video, was over a 4 to 6 hour process. It was about 40 minutes to play the game. It was about an hour for me to take that game and put it into my editor for me to even begin to edit it. As soon as I took the file and transferred it to my editing software, it took about an hour. Why? Because everything, the computer was so slow. I didn't know anything about computers or technology or hardware, what it is I needed to do. I just had some old ass Windows computer, and it took an hour for that file to be ready for me to edit. And then it would take about another 45 minutes to about another hour, hour and a half for me to edit the video. And then I had to render the video. And that took about another 45 minutes to an hour. Then I had to upload it to YouTube, and that right there took about another 45 minutes to an hour for all that to be said and done for one video. But I had the passion, I had the dedication for me to want to be successful at this. There were times where I did not sleep because I wanted to get a video out. Do you know when I slept? Do you want to know the times that I went ahead and found sleep? I would go to work, and during my 15-minute break, I wouldn't eat. I would sleep. I would go to work, and we had a half an hour break, and we had one 15-minute break. And during my 15, I would go to the break room, I would put my head down, and I would take a small power nap. Now, for the most part, most of the time, it wasn't just 15 minutes. I would sneak about a half hour, 40 minutes. There was a few times the store manager, who I was very, very, very cool with, Mr. Polino, is one of the greatest bosses I've ever worked with. You know, because he was a very young kid, you know, who happened to work his way up and be a store manager and had a personality just like mine, very goofy, very friendly, can definitely be a dirtbag at times. You know, he will definitely yell at you and be on top of you. But, you know, as long as you do what you're supposed to, you know, he was amazing. And there were times he'll sit there and just wake me up like, what are you doing? It's been 30 minutes. Like, get back to work. You know, I've been caught a few times, you know, sleeping. And during my half-hour break, I would go and I would sleep. And on the bus rides to work, I would sleep. And I would get back home, and I would upload these videos each and every single day. The dedication, the passion, the hard work was there, and I continued to do this each and every single day. I felt like I had the personality to be successful. I felt like at some point I would catch a break, and I would continue to rise, and I would continue to make this dream come true. At some point, I can make this a reality. Now, I knew I had to outwork each and every single person. I refused to have anybody outwork me. Yeah, your videos are fancier. Your videos got nice overlays and transitions. Your videos are in HD. Your videos have quality of audio that far surpasses mine. Yeah, your videos get way more likes than mine, way more views. But you're not going to outwork me, though. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to have a video each and every single day. The days that you don't have a video, I do. The days that you have a video, so do I. The days where you may just be sitting back not doing anything, I'm playing Madden and recording and getting ready to edit and getting ready to upload. I wasn't going to get outworked. I refused for somebody to have more work ethic than me and take the spot that I wanted. Because once you get, when it comes to Madden and on Twitch and on YouTube, once you get to a certain spot, you're pretty much good, right? You're there. Like, Cookie Boy isn't going to lose his spot. He's already there. J-Mel isn't going to lose his spot. He's already there. He's good. You know, myself or a lot of other people that have tons of 100,000 plus subscribers and all these subscribers, like, you know, we're good. We got our fan base. And, you know, we're good. As long as we put out the videos, you know, we're fine. But when you're up and coming, you can't say, I want to be, you know, man, I know my videos are better than his, man. I want to get there. You can't say that and not put in the work and dedication that it takes to get there. It's a grind. And that just goes with anything in life. You know, no matter what it is you want to do. You know, if you want to be, you know, valedictorian of your school, you can't sit there and say that and have somebody else outwork you for that spot. You can't sit there and say you wanna be an NBA player, but you play basketball once a week when you go to school at the gym. Like, you can't do that. You can't sit here and say you want to be something, have these dreams and aspirations, and not put in the effort and time it takes to really have that, surface up and be a reality. Because there's a lot of people in here, probably a lot of people listening, that say they want to do something, but they don't. They're a mashanda. They'll sit there and have stuff handed to them, or they say they want to do something, but they never put in the work for it. They never put in, especially people that are given advantages earlier on in life. Like, I feel like my son has a lot of advantages that I did not have. He has a lot of things that help him be successful that I sure as hell did not have. No matter what it is he wants to do, one, financially is going to be taken care of by me. I did not have that growing up. My mother pretty much had a minimum wage job. I barely saw my mother because her job was her working 3 to 11 every single night. And I was going to school every single day. The only time I really saw her was in the mornings when she woke me up, and on the weekends, because she had to leave 3 to 11. So, which meant by the time I got to school at 3 o'clock, when I got home, she was already gone. She was at work. Bam, gone for the day. And by the time she got home at about 11:30, I was asleep already. I had to get ready for school the next day. So I did not see her only when I woke up, because she woke me up in the morning, and on the weekends. It's pretty much the only times I had to see her. And she was working a minimum wage job, supporting 2 kids, pretty much by herself. So there wasn't much she could do. I didn't go to college, and a lot of it has to do with, me. Scholarships are a real thing. They do exist. People will pay you to go to school for free as long as you put in the work and effort and go to school and get your grades up. But if I wanted to do something like that, I would have had to have paid. But financially, there was no way for me to do that. There's no money in my family. How the hell am I going to go ahead and afford something like that? But like, my son has the advantages to where, if he wanted to go to college, which he will, he has no choice, it's going to be taken care of. He already has, thousands in a bank for him that, I've been stashing away. And, just a lot of things that I'm, preparing for, his future, to make it as easy as possible for him. Again, a lot of stuff that I, did not, were unable to do myself. And a lot of it has to do with myself, because if you guys know my personality, I'm a class clown, right? And that's exactly how I was in school. I never really took school seriously. Never really had anybody to put me in line and let me know how important school was. If I could go back, and you'll hear a lot of older people say this, man, if I could go back, if I knew, this is what you'll hear a lot of people say. If I knew back then what I know now, things would be a lot different. For example, if I knew what I know now back then, I would have taken school way more serious. I know I would have gotten myself a scholarship, and I would have went to college. Now, I got lucky. Things panned out, and I happened to be a YouTuber streamer and make way more than I ever would have, dreamed of, being able to, play video games. But if that didn't happen, who knows what I would have been doing? Probably still stuck at Walgreens, probably not even, making nowhere near what I'm making now. Because I always goofed around and never took school seriously, man. School is the most important thing you will ever go through in life. Because think about it. All you have to do is pay attention. That's it. They literally teach you everything it is you need to know. Every single piece of paper they give you that you need to answer, they went over and taught you already. They sit down and teach you everything. All you have to do is pay attention. All you have to do is study, take notes, and prepare yourself. And that's it. It's all you have to do. One thing that I did where I messed up is I let a lot of my friends influence me into not paying attention, because I wanted to be, again, the class clown, fool around, make them laugh, and all this stuff. And I promise you that all the people that you think are your friends now, you will not talk to in a few years after high school. I cannot stress this enough. Do not let anybody prevent you from getting an education. That is one thing that I hate about myself that I let happen. I let other people that I don't even know where the hell they are now. I don't know anything about them. They could be dead, God forbid, but they could be. I would not know. And I let that person prevent me from getting an education because I wanted to skip classes and hang out with them. I wanted to fool around with them. I wanted to just do whatever the hell it was I was doing back then. Instead of paying attention, I let these people prevent me from getting an education. And I cannot stress that enough. You cannot let other people prevent you from getting an education. Happens way too much, and it's sad, man. You cannot sit there and again allow someone to take away an education from you. Now, there's things like Facebook, not MySpace back in my day, but Twitter, Tumblr, not Snapshot. Whatever the Snap, you know what I'm talking about, man. I don't use it. Snap something. Snapchat. There we go. Snapchat. There's a lot of forms of social media. So yeah, you'll have some of your friends in high school that I didn't have. Back then in high school we didn't have that, but now you're more able to keep in contact with people because of that. Like you can have a whole bunch of your quote unquote friends added on Facebook and stuff like that. But even then, once you leave, all you're going to do is maybe look at a post from them on Facebook. They'll say yours and it'll be a what's up every now and then. But for the most part, once high school ends, everybody goes about their own separate lives and, attack the world on however route they chose to take. So if I could go back, I would definitely take school, far more seriously. I had no dedication. I had no hard work. I had no work ethic. I had no aspirations to do anything in school, and that's my fault. That's something I regret, something that I can never get back, but it's something that I can learn from my mistake and teach that to my son who, will be taking school on a far way more serious route than I, ever did. But still, no matter what it is you want to do in life, man, you got to make sure that you go all out. You got to make sure that whatever it is you're doing, that you're one of the hardest working people at it. Now, I do remember that while I was doing YouTube, right, I was steadily growing. My channel was getting bigger. I was starting to make money from it. And at first, it was just extra money, right? It wasn't much. For a whole month, I would get like $300, $400, but that was just extra, just for playing games. And that was, for me, that was like, damn, that's crazy. I can't even believe I'm getting anything. Then it got to a point where I was getting enough to where I was almost making as much as I was at my job. Now, at my job, I was still, very, goofy because I knew that, okay, this is what I want to do. I put all my effort and focus in on this YouTube thing, and this is what's going to work out for me. This is where all my hard work is going to go to. And then I remember a spot. I found out a spot was going to be opening up at my job for a manager. Now, at some point, I can't sit here and bank on this YouTube thing, even though I really want to be successful at it, even though I'm putting every single bit of effort and hard work into it. I can't control whether I'm successful or not. It all depended on if people were going to watch me, come back, subscribe, and continue to support. I can't control that. All I can do is put videos out. I put the time, the effort into it. But if nobody watches, there's nothing I can do about that. Yeah, it's growing, but I got to have a backup plan. What if it doesn't work out? I got to be realistic with myself. You can put in all the hard. Somebody can sit there and say that they stream 90 hours a week, but it's just not working out for them. I'm not being successful. The effort is there. The time is there. I'm putting in the hard work. So you can't sit here and tell me all it takes is hard work, passion, and dedication and it's going to work. Because at this point in time, today, when you're competing with thousands of people, it's very, very realistic that somebody can put in hundreds and hundreds of hours, outwork 95% of the community, but there's so many people to challenge and battle with that it's difficult for you to gain an audience. Excuse me, that I get. But I found out there was going to be a spot opening up for a manager at the Walgreens place, and somebody was going to be leaving, and they're redoing their positions, right? They were going to have a key holder, and a key holder was a person that was able to, they're not an assistant manager, but they're able to have this the key, the key of the safe. They're able to be pretty much trained as a manager, but it was a way for Walgreens to pretty much get somebody to do the work as a manager, but pay them far less. But for me, that was a promotion, right? And I wanted that spot. I wanted the extra money. I wanted the responsibility. I wanted to be able to work a shift by myself, to where I would close the store by myself and I would be the person in charge. Oh, I wanted that. But I never put in the work and dedication for it up to that point. All I did was goof around. All I did, now I was able to be the head photo clerk. Our head photo person got fired and I got the job. And it was mainly just to, me being cool with the store manager. Like, I had a great relationship with him. He pretty much didn't like anybody else in a photo lab, so he pretty much gave it to me. So that was a promotion. I remember I was really excited about that. But once this new STL position came out, the store team leader came out. What? You get the key holder? You telling me I get to run a shift by myself? And like, the employees got to listen to me. It's kind of like a manager spot, like once a week. And I wanted it so bad. But up to that point, all I did was goof around. All I did was play around, and I never took anything serious because I didn't know an opportunity like that would happen. So of course somebody else got it, and I was like, I wanted it. I went for it, and I talked to Mr. Polino about it. But he's like, come on, this girl named Siobhan got it. She was the I forgot what her position was before, but she was a little above me. But still, if I did what I had to, I potentially could have gotten that spot. Now, she ended up getting it, and I was like, damn, that like sucks, man, because ever since I worked at Walgreens, all I wanted to do was like be a manager would be awesome, because they made great money. They were making like $18 an hour to start. Here I am making like, I started at $7.20 when I first started at Walgreens. The managers are making like 18, like that much money. I'm like, oh my god, it's like damn near triple what I make. So I look at my paychecks and I could imagine what it will be like making that much. Here I am making 7 and they're making 18. Now many years fast forward, I'm still at Walgreens. I think at that point I'm making like 10 something, but they're making like 8, 19, 20 to start. It's like double. And I'm bringing home after taxes, like $600 every 2 weeks, and they're making, $1,500 after taxes. They're making like double, and I'm just like, wow, man, if I had that much, like, sheesh, that could change so much for me. But I goofed around. I never really took it serious because I put all my eggs in one basket in YouTube. But once I found out that position was available, even though she got it, all I did was sit back and watch her mess up, watch her get yelled at. And you know what I did? The same effort that I put into YouTube, the same way that I didn't let anybody outwork me, I put into that job. I went there every single day for months and went above and beyond and didn't let a single person outwork me. I did not let a single person outwork me. No matter what had to be done, I was willing to do it. I was going to do it great. I was going to do it quick. And I was going to move on to the next thing to make each and every person in that store look bad. The milk needed to be filled, no problem. Did it as quickly as I can, on to the next job. Somebody can't find something, something needs to be stocked, no problem. I know exactly where it's at. Head to the back, I'll get it, fill it. I look at something on sale is being empty, no need to even tell me to fill it. I know it's on sale. I'm going to go to the back by myself. I'm going to pull it down, and I'm going to fill the shelves with it. Somebody can't come in? No problem. I'm going to come in each and every single time. Didn't matter what the situation was. Didn't matter how early it was. Didn't matter how late it was. Didn't matter if I didn't have a way home. I was going to stay. every single opportunity that came up to me for me to be in that store, I was there. I remember there were, other stores that would break down and they needed people and they would call me. They would call Mr. Polino in desperation, like, I need somebody here, like we have nobody running this photo department, like or we're shorthanded. We really need somebody over here. Mr. Polino would call me. I would be home and he would like, listen, this store over here, they really need somebody, and again, at this time, I wasn't driving still. And they really need somebody, you can take a cab, the store will pay for it. I told them I'll see what it is I can do to, because all store managers, of course, they all in their circle. So, they would let him know. And he knew exactly who to get to go over there. Every single opportunity that came for me to be in that store, I was there. And I outworked every single person. I worked twice as hard as every single body, every single day for months and months and months, because I knew eventually this opportunity was going to happen, because I seen her mess up. If she was doing a great job and I felt like there was no opportunity for that spot to be taken, then I wouldn't have, went so hard, because how am I going to take that spot, right? How am I going to sit there and take a spot from somebody who's just doing a fantastic job, working hard, didn't really make much sense? Now, I could work up to it and potentially get a spot at another store, but that would just change things because I wasn't driving. How am I going to get to another store? Who knows what store they're going to send me to and whatnot? So, there was nothing I can do. But I seen her unmotivated. I seen her not wanting to do the job. I seen her getting yelled at for doing stuff wrong. And what I saw was this opportunity. And when I tell you guys, each and every single day, I went there and went balls out and did everything that I was supposed to. And eventually, I ended up getting the job. And eventually, I ended up getting promoted from that job up too as well. And it was one of the, craziest moments of my Walgreens career to think that I went ahead and was able to accomplish that. And I was still doing YouTube at the same time. Every single day I would bust my ass at work hard every single day, because it's retail. In retail, there's always something to do. Always. You're always changing stuff. You're always changing decor. You're always doing different type of, promotions, seasonal and things like that. There's always holidays. Walgreens open 24/7, Christmas, New Year's, Thanksgiving, didn't matter. It's always open. And I was there putting in crazy amount of time of hours, come home and still do a video. And because I wanted to give myself an opportunity to be able to get promoted at work and still be able to do YouTube, just in case, But if one took off, though, if YouTube took off and I really felt like I was able to do it full time, that's what I was going to do, 100%. But I couldn't bank on it, though, because again, that's a situation to where you can't sit here and say, oh, I know I'm gonna be a good YouTuber. It's not up to you. You can make an amazing video, but if nobody's there to see it, then you can't control that. You can't control the amount of people that are going to come to your channel and watch your stuff. So that's what makes it, very, very difficult. But you still have to put in the time and effort. There's nothing you can do about, people finding your channel. It's just a matter of, being lucky, especially now with so many people doing it. But again, this is just with anything in life. You cannot be a Mashonda. You cannot sit here and not put in any type of effort, minimal passion, minimal everything, and expect results no matter what it is you do in life. You can't excuse me. You can't do that, because if you do, you're not going to get any type of results, let alone the results that are fantastic. There's so many things that people want to be in life, and you have to be also realistic. Yeah, you can sit here and say you want to be a basketball player, but you have to be realistic that there's how many people in this world, how many billions upon billions of people that are in this world that are fighting for how many? There's 12 players a team, and there's 30 teams in the NBA. There's billions of people fighting for all of 200 spots. Like, it's just the chances are not there. So athletically, it's just not very like. Is it possible? Of course. There's people every single year that go and make it to the NCAA and then are able to go from there to college. I mean, from there to the NFL or the MLB or NBA, stuff like that. It's just highly unlikely. Highly unlikely. But even when it comes to that, though, you still can't be outworked. You still have to be the hardest working person there. You have to go ahead and put in the effort that it takes to be able to get the results that it is you want to get to. Like when I sit here and when I was learning, just learning Mortal Kombat. It's a game that if you guys watch me stream, you guys know I love playing Mortal Kombat, right? I was awful at it. And I would sit there and I would play once, maybe once a day, a few matches, and I would get destroyed. I didn't know what I was doing. I had no clue what was going on. I just didn't know, so I didn't really play it too much until I met somebody who had put in hundreds and hundreds of hours into the game and knew the game inside and out and knew everything about every single character, knew everything about moves, on how to punish certain moves, on how to play a character strategically, on how to just do everything. And I learned from him on how to use a character and how to do things and how to react and how to punish things. And from there, I got good with one character, which is Jason. If you guys watch me play, you guys know I play Jason all the time. But from there, I wanted to learn other characters, right? And then I got invested in putting the time into learning other characters. Yeah, it would take weeks, so much time for me to gain, because mind you, I'm still doing YouTube, I'm still streaming, I'm still playing Madden, but I really wanted to learn these MK characters. So any free time that I had, I would dedicate, and I would sit in practice mode for hours and hours and hours, and I would work on combos until it was muscle memory. I would sit there and work over and over and over again, repetition, work on it over and over and over again. Once I did it 10 times in a row perfectly, I did it again, and I kept on doing these combos over and over and over and over. And once I got it down for a fact, okay, I cannot mess this up, I got this down 100%, I would work on another combo over and over and over again, and working on punishes, working on timing, and working on spaces, and working on staggers, and working on each and every single thing over and over and over and over again. When you guys watch, and you guys come to my stream, and you guys watch me play with Goro, and you guys like, man, you're really good with him. Like, you're actually like pretty damn good with him. It took me 70 hours of practice for me to be able to learn how to play him to the level that I learned how to play him. I didn't just sit there and just, YouTube a video and just learn a combo and get good with him. Like when I say it took hours and hours and hours and hours for me to learn that character inside and out, for me to learn everything, for me to learn when to poke, for me to learn when to block, for me to learn when to armor, for me to learn when to wake up correctly, for me to learn, everything it is to learn. So much time goes into it. That's with everything. That's with everything you have to do. Now, I am a very lazy person. I cannot tell a lot. But when I go hard at something, I go above and beyond. When I really, really, really want something, there's nothing going to stop me from being able to achieve that. I'm not going to sit there and say that it was lack of effort that prevented me from learning this or prevented me from doing this. I'm not going to sit here and say there was lack of passion that prevented me from doing this. I'm not going to sit here and say somebody outworked me and that's the reason why I didn't get to where I wanted to get to or get the position I wanted to just because somebody else was better. I refuse to let somebody be better than me. Now, with that being said, just wanted to talk to you guys, and hopefully, you guys don't turn into a Mashonda, man. Whatever it is you guys are doing, there's going to be a few thousand people to listen to this. Whatever it is you're doing, whether, you may have a job now, you may be in school now, you may be, in college, in 8th grade, in high school, whatever it is you're doing, make sure whatever it is you are doing, you put in maximum effort. You don't allow anybody to sit there and say they're doing something better than you. You don't sit back and say this person is smarter than you. Well, they're smarter than you and they know more than you, probably because they take more time in learning, whatever it is they're learning more than you. If you sat two people down in a room and they knew absolutely nothing about Spanish and they taught Spanish, and one person just happens to speak more Spanish more than the next person in that same room, it's probably because he worked at it more. It wasn't just in the classroom he was learning. Maybe once he left the classroom, maybe once when he got home, he continued to learn. Maybe he was listening to audiobooks to help him. Maybe he was reading some books to help him learn the language while you didn't. Y'all being taught the exact same, but he knows more because he put in more effort than you. So of course he's going to know more. Of course he's going to know how to speak the language more and how to roll the tongue correctly and know the correct pronunciations and know how words are supposed to be said because he's putting in more time than you. You can't sit there and look to your left. You're not supposed to sit there and look to your left and say, excuse me, this person is better than me. Negatory. You don't want to be that person. You want to be the one looked at, and you want them to say about you, damn, he's so much better than me. When you go to class, you want to be the person saying, this nigga knows everything. You want to be the person to where they suck their teeth and saying, how does he know? Like, he just knows everything. Because you're taking the time and effort to know the answers to these questions. When you're at work, whatever it is you're working at, if you work at retail like me, you could be working at a Marshalls, you could be working at a Publix, you could be working at a dental assistant, whatever it is. Don't allow anybody to work harder than you. Don't allow anybody to sit there and put in more time and effort than you, because you never know what may happen. When that STL position came out, and I knew for a fact that if I tried, I would mop the floor with this girl with hard work and dedication. I knew that. But she always outworked me every single day because I allowed her to. Because I didn't know any position was coming up. I didn't know. So she sat there and she was doing good. But she couldn't handle the pressure from the new position. Once I seen that, once I seen her buckle, once I seen it look like she didn't even want it, once I heard her from her mouth complain that she didn't like it, I knew it was game time. I knew it was time to go all out. And go all out I did. I rarely left that store. And when I was in there, it was nothing but hard work and dedication. I did everything I could do to make sure that that manager seen me be able to look like I could handle any situation. And that's all I ask of you guys, man. No matter what it is you do in life, you want people looking at you, sucking their teeth, being upset. How come he's so much better than me? You put in the time, effort, no matter what it is, even if you're in school, man. I know it's very easy to leave school, want to hang out with your friends, and, just do your homework and that's it. But if you can take a little bit more time. Oh, snap, you may hear my alarm. Y'all going to make fun of me. I'm recording this right now at 6 p.m. And I was very, very, very tired. And I set my alarm to wake me up just in case I snoozed off too long at 6 p.m. so I wake up and get this episode out to you guys. But I woke up way before the alarm, and I'm here ready recording this damn episode. But, there's a lot of, I have a platform to where I'm blessed to where thousands of people hear what I have to say, right? And I can sit there and I can take this platform and I can talk about whatever it is I want to do, but I can't stress enough, man. You have to be the best you that you can be. There's nothing stopping you from being better than the next person. There's nothing stopping you from right now. You can think right now in your class, whoever's in school, right now, immediately, if I say who's the smartest person in your class, you already know who it is. Why can't that be? If it's not you, why can't that be you? Why can't that be you? Maybe because you're not putting any time and effort into developing your mind. Maybe it's because you want to play Fortnite instead of continuing to grow your mind and be smart. Maybe because that person that you already know is, okay, it's Adam. Adam's the smartest person in class, like it's not even close. The kid knows everything. Maybe because when you're playing Fortnite, Adam is actually developing his mind and learning and continue to learn outside of the school. Maybe because when he is learning, he puts forth effort into focusing and remembering everything that he's being taught, and he doesn't forget anything. And maybe that's why when somebody asks you who's the smartest person in your class, they say him and not you. Why can't it be you? Why can't that same Adam sit there and be asked that question, and why can't they say it's you? Hopefully you understand what it is I'm talking about. We all have one person at work at our job that we know just works more than everybody else. They may be the favorite, whatever the case may be. But we know who is the hardest worker at our job. Why can't that be you? When somebody goes on ahead and they had a poll and just asks, who's the best worker here? I know for damn sure when I was at Walgreens, when they asked that question, it wasn't going to be me. But when I chose to be the best worker, when I chose to sit there and put effort into doing each and every single thing that I know that had it to be done, that had to be done, not had it, that had to be done, if they asked that question then, they had to say me. Because I outshined each and every single person. I went from walking past, knowing that toilet paper is on sale 2 for 1 and it's completely empty, and I know we have 10 cases in the back. I went from walking past that, and the only way I would do it is if a manager told me. I went from that to seeing it was empty, not even empty, seeing that it was half empty. I would go up, get that box, bring it down, fill it up, and leave the box in a closer space to where once it got less, I would be able to fill it up more without anybody telling me anything. And what happened is that people saw that. They saw me put effort into it. They saw me working more than any other person. So what happened? They wanted me at the store more than any other person because I was able to provide them with more stability, more work than anybody else. They knew I was more reliable than anybody else. They knew I was going to do more than anybody else, which provided me more hours than anybody else, which provided me more money than anybody else, which provided me more opportunity to get promoted than anybody else. It's the same way, the same effort I had with YouTube when I first started. I wasn't going to let nobody outwork me. Now, I'm very lazy. You can sit here and say, where's that effort now? Now I'm very lazy because I'm content with where I'm at. I'm blessed. No need to get overly greedy, right? I'm very happy with where I am, right? I can do more, and I'm preventing myself from doing more because I don't put forth the effort to, do as much as I can. But eventually that will come out. And when it does, it will get scary, I promise you. Because when I dedicate myself to something, it gets ugly. I refuse to be outworked by anybody. And I truly hope that you can sit here and listen to this and take that same mentality, man. I want them to look at you and and them to get upset with you. I want them to tell you, yo, you need to calm down. You're doing way too much. And you tell them, no, I'm not doing enough. You're not doing enough. You don't sit there and tell me you're not doing enough. Do not be a Mashonda, man. Put forth effort, passion, and great things will come to you, and no matter what it is you're doing. I can say that at everything except for sports. Let's be honest. No matter how much time you put into sports, you can sit there and shoot a jump shot 1,000 times a day and work harder at jump shots than somebody else. But somebody could just be naturally more athletic than you. They can be taller than you. It's just stuff that you just can't compete with. If you're 5'8", it's going to be very damn near impossible for you to be a basketball player as much as you love it, because you're just not athletically gifted as somebody who's 6'5", to where, yeah, you may be better than them, but they're able to do more just because they're taller. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that I can say it's different for sports. But if you have the athletic build, then at that point, if you decide to take the determination, passion, and not let anybody outwork you, now we're talking. But if you're just unathletically gifted, there's nothing you can do about that. You can't sit there and work at being taller because, professionally, they're all tall, right? Every offensive lineman in the NFL is all like 6'5" and above. Every quarterback is pretty much tall. All these receivers are 6'4", 6'2". They're all like really, really tall. Everybody in the NBA is 6'5", 6'6", 6'7". They're all like really, really, really tall, and there's nothing you can do to teach height, unfortunately, and that is one of the things that if you happen to have on your side, you have an advantage over other people, and that's something they can't fix. So that's why when you get somebody, I'll never forget when I was a freshman in high school, we had our center who was all of like 6'7". He was like tall, but I mean that's like no college center. But for high school, he's tallest kid there, but he was a knucklehead. He was very, very goofy, not smart, just dumb. He was a dumb kid. And I just say dumb, not like he didn't know what 2+2 was, but just dumb like he just looked like he didn't even understand the game of basketball. But he was tall. And I remember the coach, which I'll never forget, the coach saying, like you keep getting in trouble in school, like your grades aren't what they're supposed to be, but we'll work with you. Like you got to get your act together. And this is what he said: we'll work with you because you're tall and you cannot teach height. And that's true. You can't teach height. I can teach you how to shoot a jump shot better. I can teach you how to dribble. I can teach you how to defend. I cannot teach you how to be 3 inches taller. You can't teach height. So naturally, those people have already an advantage over you, those taller people in sports like basketball, to where there's something you can't teach. You know what I mean? But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed, man. It's your boy GS. We're going to go on ahead and be signing out, man. Don't be a Mashonda, man. Make sure you guys work hard. Matter of fact, I'm going to have that episode linked in the description if you guys want to watch it out and just understand, where as soon as he said that, as soon as he said, your name is in bright lights and you're doing nothing to see this restaurant succeed. If my parents gave me a beautiful restaurant like this, I would be sleeping here every day until I knew that brisket was made to perfection. That right there showed me, as soon as he said that, I was like, wow, like that. See the passion that he had, the way he said that with so much passion, I knew that he wasn't just saying that. I knew he meant that. That if he was in a position to where somebody just gave him a restaurant, obviously he's a world famous chef now, but growing up, if he was given a restaurant, he wouldn't settle for anything less than perfection. He wouldn't allow him to serve terrible food with his name being out front. And hopefully we could all take that. We can all learn something from that. We can all have that type of build and drive. We can all sit there and look to our left and know that we outperform them, whether it's at school or whether it is at work. Don't let anybody outwork you. Don't let anybody outperform you. Don't let anybody be able to say that they're better at whatever it is that you guys are doing. You don't want anybody to say that they're outworking you. You outwork them no matter what it is you're doing. Put some passion into it. Sprinkle in a little bit of dedication. Maybe a little less Fortnite. a little more passion. And more things will go your way, I promise you. GS wouldn't lie to you. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's episode. See you guys next time. Peace.